Help me understand what these companies are thinking when they're going through the interview process and are making it way harder than it needs to be. A couple months ago, I went and applied for a sales role position in a company that was hiring, and they ended up taking 6 interviews with me before they could come to a decision. The first interview was exactly as you would expect it. It was, tell me about yourself, strengths, weaknesses, all that yada yada. And then they scheduled the second interview with the CRO or the chief revenue officer. Again, pretty standard stuff. It was more of like a repeat interview of what we already talked about in the first one. And this is where things got a little weird because a third interview was more of a peer interview with another employee that I would be working directly with that already works at the company and just chatting with him about seeing if it's a good culture fit, all that stuff. Made sense. Went ahead and did that. The fourth interview was with my direct manager or potential direct manager to see if it's a good culture fit again. So I went through that, just chatted with them. By this point, I had really no questions to ask. I had already asked them by the second interview, and it was more of just to see if it was a quote unquote culture fit. I kid you not. They sent me back to the first person that I had my initial interview with for interview 5 to see what my thoughts were, just general questions. And I thought the interview process was over by that point and they were going to extend an offer. Tell me why they sent me back to the second person that I had already spoken with again to ask similar questions and just get a good feel of if this is a good culture fit. By this point, I respectfully declined because I had already accepted a role because another company that I had interviewed with during this entire 6 interview process had already had my initial first interview and then a follow-up interview with my direct manager. And I decided to just move forward with them because if anything, this was a reflection of how the company will do business. And it didn't really vibe with the way that I was wanting to work with them. Because if I'm the one that's taking these sales conversations, I'm the one that's having to get the clients on board and then fulfill the order or pass it over to our team. And if there's any reflection of this interview process, it will take weeks to do. Whereas the company that I went on to work with got it done in a matter of a week, week and a half. So maybe someone can explain to me why exactly the process with some of these companies is so strenuous and long, whereas other companies can move quickly and can make a decision and that's it. There's no extra process that needs to happen. Maybe someone in recruiting can explain this to me. Maybe they'll give me a better perspective, but I don't know if other people are experiencing the same thing. I've had similar conversations with people that have 5 to 7 to 8 interviews before they get hired with a company. And in the meantime, they might have multiple offers and accept other offers with other companies during that exact same process. So maybe someone can explain to me, but make it make sense.